What's up, guys? We are back. I'm looking at some more NFL plays today over on PrizePicks. Yesterday in the DubClub, we had yet another profitable day. As you guys can see right here, we had this one right here for 5.75x. You can see the sub sending me their winners there. But we're looking to have some more free play winners today over here on YouTube. We have crushed it all NFL season long. We are extremely profitable to start out the year. Yet last week was also our best week. We cashed at least a 4-man, I believe, on Thursday Night Football, the Sunday slate, and Monday Night Football. So we have been killing it, looking to keep crushing it with some more winners tonight. Hopefully we get a good, high-scoring game tonight. That's what we're hoping for, but we don't necessarily need that to cash up winners tonight. But let's go ahead and hop in and let's get to these plays. I'm going to get to those shortly, but if you guys have not already, leave it a like on this video here. Get this video to 125 likes. If you get to 125 likes, I'll drop a bonus play for you guys in tomorrow's video. And while you're down there leaving a like, you may as well also subscribe to the channel with those notifications on. That way you don't miss out on future videos from me. You guys get in before these lines get bumped or get removed. Now, if you've not already seen the DubClub, also don't miss out in joining. It gives you access to all of my plays sent straight to your phone. And the best part for y'all is that it is a 50% off for a limited time with the link in my description. You could also get 60% off of the next 3 months as well. So both offers, 50% off your first month, 6% off of 3 months is listed in my description if you guys want to get in. And by the way, we have the NHL coming back in 5 days. Tuesday, we have the NHL returning, which is one of my best sports. I am unbelievably excited for that. And of course, we have the NBA right around the corner as well, which is another one of my top sports for sure. That's pretty much what this channel was built off, was the NBA. You see some of the winners that we've had from the DubClub this year, some different testimonies from guys that have been able to cash over in my DubClub, of course. So get in while you guys can at that discount. But once you do join, make sure to connect your Discord to DubClub. That way you get access to all the different plays and all the different perks over in my Discord. That includes a correlation tab, that includes a community chat, that includes the contributors here posting their plays. But the main thing here is going to be the correlation tab, which is everybody's favorite here. It contains a lot of these winners, of course, like this here. Like we've had like this winner right there off the free square. We've had this winner all from just last week, and there's a lot more winners than just these couple entries there. The contributors post their plays too. You have like the KBO plays, you have esports, soccer, WNBA, you have golf even. So there's a lot of different plays available over in the DubClub for whatever type of sport you want to rock with for that day. So come join us in the DubClub. It is a link available in my description. Come cash with us. 50% off of your first month is listed in my description. With that now out of the way, let's get to these free plays. Make sure to play responsibly and at your own risk. Leave a like on this video here and subscribe to the channel if you've not already, and let's get to these plays. The first play I like on the PrizePicks board, we're actually going to start off hot. We're going to go with a demon on the PrizePicks board, that being Kyren Williams, not over rushing yards, but his receiving yards, which is going to be at 14.5, which is the last demon here on the board there. So 14.5 receiving yards for Kyren Williams. You can see what he's done in the games this season. He's had 3, 14, 18, and 17. So he's covered this in back-to-back games now. Would be 3 straight if he didn't hook right there against Tennessee. This one's pretty much going to be the main square here. It's going to be the main square for this type of entry that is going to give us the extra high payout for what's kind of being offered. And PrizePicks is actually paying out a little bit more than it would on some books out there. So there's a lot of value here on this entry. It will still be a long shot at the end of the day. It's going to come out to like an 8x here on PrizePicks. So to kind of keep that in mind, I'm playing like 0.33 units on this, so 33% of 1 unit. But Kyren here has had at least 15 receiving yards in 2 out of 4 games already this year, like I said, and last year 39% of games. But you can see what he's been kind of able to do this year in terms of the receiving game. He's had 1, 2, 2, and 3 receptions this year, and his targets have actually gone up the last 2 games here. They lost that game against Philly, and then they won by 7 points here against the Colts. And the Rams today are 8.5-point favorites at home. So in home games this year, Kyren Williams over in 1 out of 2 games, as you can see there. They played a home game last game, and they were able to beat the Colts, where he was able to have 17 receiving yards in that game. But I like taking Kyren's receiving yard as the long shot type in this entry, because you're going to see this entry get built out like this, by the way. So I've had 3 of these types of entries this year. You can see Marvin Mims was my long shot. I was able to catch up the entry there. This one here, Tyreek Hill got injured, unfortunately. If he did not get injured in like the early third quarter, this entry was probably cashing right there again. And the other one right here was Drake London over his receiving yards. We were able to cash that one out there, as you can see. So pretty much just need a long shot and then take the quarterback, under his like goblin right there, and then just take like another receiver over the receiving yards. But so Kyren Williams is going to be a long shot here, but I feel like the matchup for him here against San Fran. I mean, 16, 24, and 23 is what other running backs have been able to do against 49ers this year. The Seahawks did go under between Charbonnet and Walker. But otherwise, the other 3 teams and their running backs were able to cover their line. At least as a whole, they all had at least 16 receiving yards there, as you can see. So I think it's a very good spot, and you can see what he was able to do against San Fran last year. He had 2 receptions in both those games. One time he had 27, the other game he had 4, as you can see. But that game was 12-6. So hopefully we do not have a 12-6 game today. I think a lot of guys would be chalking today. But it's a demon, despite his receiving yards line being at actually 9.5 as his main line, but it's really at 14.5, as you can see there, or that's what we're taking. It's going to be 14.5. So it's only a 5-yard bump here, even though it is a running back. It is only a 5-yard bump. I think it's kind of worth it here for Kyren Williams here in this spot, but we're going to get to another play here to kind of build this up here. And some guys are going to look at me funny when I talk about this player here, but it's going to be Jordan Whittington, over 13.5 receiving yards. So he is going to be at 15.5 on some books out there, which already we're getting like a 2-yard discount basically on PrizePicks, even though I do still like him up to 15.5. But Jordan Whittington has got this on the coverage line one time this year. You know, he has had 0 yards, 42, but then 7 in back-to-back games, as you can see there. He's had games of 0 catches, 2 catches, 2 catches, and 1 catch, as you can see there. So not anything super crazy here. And Stafford threw for a lot of yards last game, yet Whittington only had 7 receiving yards. So you're probably like, why the hell are you playing Jordan Whittington today? Look at his snap percentage numbers here. I'm going to use Sleeper here to talk about his snap percentage numbers. We went from 50% to 64%, which, by the way, in that game where he had 64% of the snaps, he had 42 receiving yards. This game, though, he had 50% of snaps. Last game, he played 80% of the snaps. He is a clear wide receiver number 3 on this team, based off of last game and his snap percentage. I think we could be seeing at least 70% of the snaps today. Hopefully 60 to 70% of the snaps at least is what we see here from Jordan Whittington. And if he has that, he has the 2 catches, which I'm expecting. I think Jordan Whittington's going to clear his line here. I think it's a very, very doable. You can also see here from this report on Sleeper, he played just 2 less snaps than Puka and 1 less snap than Devontae Adams. And you're telling me this guy's line is at 13.5. That is what, if he is really going to see that amount of snaps again, which I think is extremely possible, I would be shocked if he did not have at least, 14 receiving yards in this game here. I really would be. So I think it's an excellent compliment here to our entry here by filling it in with Kyren Williams here. So taking 2 receiving yards overs here for like 14.5 and 13.5, which now leads me to my next player, which is going to be Matthew Stafford on the over of his Goblin. Now, PrizePicks' payouts are very, very weird, right? So this is not going to be the player that I'm talking about in this video, but let's just say we want Christian McCaffrey over rushing yards. Actually, let's go with like a, I don't know, WNBA just for example, just so we don't get any like correlation mixed up in here. I just want to show you guys something real quick. So the payout here, if we had just a normal pair here, would be 7x, right? If you had Matthew Stafford over his normal passing yards, it goes up to 10x. So it's a 2x bump right there for 240 passing yards, which is, it's correlated, but not that much because we're only needing like 30 receiving yards between Kyren and Whittington, really. But if you bump his passing yards down to 224, it is only 9x right there, as you can see. But if you continue to bump this one down, let's go with like 199 passing yards for Matthew Stafford, it's at 8x there. If you bump it even further down to 189, it stays the same at 8x, as you can see there. So that's why I kind of like factoring the Goblin here, because it's only a little bit of a boost to the payout, but it's also still solid value because you can take 189 instead of 199 and still get a better payout here for Matthew Stafford. So that's why I'm kind of factoring Matthew Stafford. Just I think it's a little bit worth it considering we already have 2 overs for some receivers there. We're a receiver and a running back, but Stafford here has also been over his line, though, in all 4 games this year. Even in a bad game against Philly, in terms of his yards at least, he still had 196 passing yards. Last year, he went over his line in 72% of games. And at the end of the day, too, I feel like if Stafford does not have at least 190 passing yards, one of these guys at least are going to sell probably, right? It'd be pretty unlikely for these guys to both go over if Stafford is going to have less than 190 passing yards. So I think it's worth it to throw Stafford's in for his lowest Goblin there at 189. Like I said, 199 and 189 pay out the exact same, so getting a little bit of value there, I guess I would say. And at the end of the day, too, like this pays out a lot less on sportsbooks than it does on PrizePicks. So already a little bit of value there. But it just kind of makes sense to me to take Stafford here, especially when they're 8.5-point home favorites. And home games last year, he was over in 6 out of 8 games. In wins last year, if you look at it, he was over this line in 6 out of 11 games. Wins at home at 3 out of 5, as you can see there. Overall, I'd be pretty shocked if Stafford did not have at least 190 passing yards in this game here. So those are my first 3 plays here. We're going with all Rams. We're going to head to our 4th play, which is, of course, going to be a 49er. Now, before we get to the next play in this video, I want to talk about Sleeper real quick. Now, Sleeper is, in my opinion, one of the best apps out there right now, and they also can offer some of the best payouts, as well as they have some of the best offers in the game right now. And Sleeper has upgraded their new user offers, by the way. You get 3 promos when you sign up, and they are very good promos. First off, you get $20 without depositing when you sign up for Sleeper. So if you sign up for Sleeper for the first time with my promo code DOMG, they give you $20 without depositing. But you also get a first-time deposit match up to $100 using my promo code, and you get a free square when signing up for Sleeper. And what's also awesome about this app is that even for users that have been on their app for a long time, like me, I still have promos all the time on this app. This is one of the weaker days I've actually had for promos, yet we still have 2 boosts here. We have Aja Wilson boosted over her points there, and Puka Nacua boosted over 98.5 receiving yards. His normal line is like 95.5. You're getting nearly a 2x right there for Puka Nacua, which is awesome. What's also cool about this app too, though, is that they could also offer a better payout potentially than an app like PrizePicks. For example, if you like Kyren Williams over receiving yards, unless you like Christian McCaffrey under rushing yards, pays out 3.29x over on Sleeper compared to maybe 3x on PrizePicks. If instead you like Kyren Williams under, for example, pays out 3.22x over on Sleeper, again compared to maybe 3x on PrizePicks. Very cool app. 3 massive promos going on right now. It is by far the best promos in the game. Join right now using my promo code DOMG for a free square, first deposit up to $100, and $20 without depositing. All right, now let's fill out the rest of our PrizePicks entry here, and this one is going to be over in the targets category here because I'm going to go with Jake Tonges over 4 receiving targets here in this game against the Rams, of course. This entry here pays out 8x on PrizePicks, so I think it is well worth it. Books are only paying out like 6.75x, which if you don't know, books almost always pay out higher than what PrizePicks does. PrizePicks gives you some very low payouts, but not for this here. It is very, very correlated, and they seem to love this play here. So Jake Tonges here over 4 receiving targets. He's had 3, 5, 3, and 5 in these couple games this year. So he's missed this line by once, the push away in 2 different games this year. But this game here, of course, George Kittle started out playing. These games, George Kittle did not play. So this game here, though, against the Cardinals, we only had 3 targets in that game. Still had 2 receptions there. But overall, the Rams, they're allowing, they're ranking 14th right now in receiving targets allowed. It's basically pass attempts for the most part. But they're averaging about 30 per game just given out. And I think Tonjes should have at least 5 here. I really do. And I'm also expecting, by the way, the 49ers to basically play down in this game. I think they're going to be playing down a lot in this game. I think most people do think that as well. I mean, they were 8.5-point underdogs at the end of the day. And in the only game that they lost this year, which was against the Jags last game, he had 5 targets here. He had 3 catches for 5 targets in that game. So I think Mac Jones goes over pass attempts like I already talked about earlier. I think that's another good alternative here for Tonjes. But I just think Tonjes is going to, even if they do happen to, even if Mac doesn't go over, I think Tonjes still will have at least 4 targets. But if Mac does go over, I think so will Tonjes. It just makes sense to me based off of seeing what he was able to do last game. Of course, George Kittle being injured. And just overall, me thinking that the 49ers are going to throw the ball a lot here, I just think it makes sense. If you do not have targets available to you, what I like instead is over receptions or even over receiving yards as well for them. I think both spots are very good. So those are my 4 plays today. Kyren Williams over 14.5 receiving yards. Demon. Jordan Whittington over his normal line at 13.5 receiving yards. Matthew Stafford over 189.5 passing yards. And Jake Tonjes over 4 receiving targets for an 8x over on PrizePicks. That is pretty much going to do it. I'm not done, though. I want to talk about the DubClub again. Make sure that you guys do not miss out on joining. It is 50% off for a limited time with the link available in my description. Multiple of the NFL picks have already been posted to the DubClub. And of course, we have some playoff baseball today. We have some wild card elimination games today. There are 3 different games that are 1-1 in the wild card right now. Looking to move on to the next round. Should be a very good looking day here for some MLB. So come join us while you can. Make sure to connect your Discord at DubClub. You get perks, all these different perks over here in the Discord. And I'll see you guys there. Thank you for watching. See you guys hopefully in the next video. Best of luck. If you estimate over $5,000 of profit on PrizePicks, watch this video on your screen right here.